So today we're talking about surface area of pyramids. And a pyramid is a 3D solid with one base and triangular sides which meet at a single point. So here's my 3D solid, and it's got this big rectangular or probably a square base right here. And then it's got three triangles coming off it. Of course, when we make the pyramid, we're going to fold those triangles up so that each point meets at the very top of your fence. The lateral surface area is just the area that faces except the base. So it's the area of 1, 2, 3, 4 of these triangles here, if it's a rectangle or a square. And the lateral surface area, the equation of it, is P times the slant height. So here's what I mean by slant height. Slant height is, we have these four triangles that come across here. Slant height is the line that comes, it's basically the height of the triangle. It's the height of the triangle. So it's the perimeter of the base, and that's the big thing, the perimeter of the base times the slant height of the triangle. That's just for the lateral area. But for the total surface area, well, let me tell you, basically I could walk you through like how we got all this stuff, but I'll basically tell you that this equation, the perimeter of the base times the slant height over 2, the way we got it was we took the area of this triangle, and this triangle, and this triangle, and this triangle, we added them all together. We took the area of this triangle, this triangle, this triangle, this triangle, we added them all together to find that lateral height. I'm not going to take you through those steps. You guys just have to know that it boils down to perimeter times slant height. Alright, and then total surface area is the area of all faces. So basically it's just the lateral area, these four triangles, plus this base. Now sometimes it's a rectangle, sometimes it's a square, sometimes it's a triangle, whatever the space is. Yeah. If you're given the altitude of a base and of the perimeter and not the slant height, use Pythagorean theorem to find the slant height. And I'll go through that in just a second. I want to try to make it clear to you what I mean when I'm saying slant height. So, right here we have an actual pyramid, and the slant height is the height of one of the sides of the pyramid, like right down the middle. That's true. There are a lot of dead Egyptians. This right here is the altitude. It's not the slant height. It's the complete height of the pyramid from top to bottom. Don't get it confused with the slant height. They call it slant height because it's slanted. Alright, so let's talk about how you can find the slant height if they don't give it to you. So, with example number 1, they give you the altitude. Which is that right there. And then they give you the base edge. And the base edge is the bottom edge of the triangle. This is the whole base edge. And what is the base edge of this pyramid? 14, right? Well, if that's the base edge, then what do you think this line is right to the middle of one of the sides? 7. You got it. It's just 1/2 of the base edge. But remember that the surface area, and we're asking for the lateral area here, so surface area lateral equals the perimeter times the slant height, that's L, all over 2. So we still don't know what the slant height is. We've got to figure out what that value is right there, because that is our L. So I'm going to take this out here, and I'm going to use this. What's the value of our altitude? 24, right? Now, I can use Pythagorean's theorem to find L. All I have to do is put that into my calculator. And don't forget to square root both sides. And I'll get L equals 25. After you square root it. 24 squared plus 7 squared, then you get the answer, and then you square root that. And that's the thing. But the other thing I could do is I could remember my triples, 7, 24, and 25. And I wouldn't even have to do the Pythagorean theorem. So L equals 25. The perimeter of my base, well, what type of shape is my base? Square, right? Square pyramid. So each of those guys are going to be 14. So the perimeter of my base is just 14 times 4. 14 times 4 sides. So that's 56. So now, the total lateral surface area is just 25 times 56, all over 2, which is going to give me 700 centimeters squared. All right. Any questions about that? Yes. Say it again. Oh, tutoring? No, not after school. Yeah, sorry. But Roberto, just look. This is the main thing I want you to focus on. The surface area for the lateral area, that just means I'm trying to find the area of my 4 triangles right here, is going to be the perimeter of the base times that slant height of the triangle. So let's try another one. Okay, when it says surface area just like that, it just means total surface area. So I'm looking for ST. And we're looking at an equilateral triangular pyramid. So the base is an equilateral triangular pyramid. Okay, everybody with me so far? The base is an equilateral triangular pyramid. The base edge has 6 inches. How long is the base edge? 6 inches. That means each side is 6 inches, right? Because it's an equilateral. Alright. We good so far? Okay. Slant height. So my slant height is my L equals 10 inches. Okay. Well, remember that my ST is just my perimeter times my slant height over 2 plus big B. And what's big B? Area of the base. Well, let's take care of this guy first. Perimeter times slant height over 2. So, what's my perimeter of this triangle? 6 times 3, 18. Times my L, right here, slant height, 10, divided by 2. It's just from this one right here. Okay, 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 10, 180. 180 over 2, or 90. So ST equals 90 plus B. Okay, I just realized that that's where that came from. Now I got to do my B. So I've got to find the area of the triangle. All right, thank you. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Well, I've got my base here. My base is 6. But I need to find out what my height is. So I know that if it's an equilateral triangle, what are all my angles? What's the degree of each angle? Not 45, 45. 60. 60. And then since this one is divided into 2 smaller ones, those are 230, right? And what is just this base, my short leg of the equilateral triangle? The 30, 60, 90. 3, right? So you need to get really comfortable with my 30, 60, 90. If the short leg is 1, the long leg is 1 times the square root of 3. So my short leg is 3, so my long leg is 3 times the square root of 3. So that's my height. So now I can say 1/2 area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, you see how we got that? 1/2 of 6 is 3. It's 3, and then 3 times 3 is 9. So area equals 9 times the square root of 3. So now I have ST equals 90 plus 9 square root 3. And we're talking about inches squared. Say that again? No. You can just leave it like that, unless it says put it as you round off to the nearest thousandth or something like that. But of course, if you need to solve it, you can just enter that into your calculator just like that. 90 plus 9 square root 3. And as a decimal, that'll get you 105.59 inches squared. On the test, we'll ask leave it in the simplified radical form, which means leave that radical in there. You see that square root 3, just leave it like that, or round off to the nearest hundredth. Then just do it like that. Okay. So a cone is a circular pyramid. It's just a circular pyramid. It's got one circle base, and it has the lateral piece makes a single point. That means at this point right here. The lateral surface area of a cone is just S. The surface area lateral is pi times the radius times the slant height. And the slant height on this cone is going to go right down the center. Right down the side. Well, if it's a right cone, it's going to be, and that's what we're dealing with right now. So yeah, like any side is going to be equal. It's going to be the same measurement all the way around. All right. If you have the total surface area T for total, you still have your lateral, which is pi r L, but you're going to add the area of the circle that's the base. And what is the area of the circle? Pi r squared, or big B. What should you do if the altitude is given but not the slant height? So if I have the altitude but they don't give me the slant height, well, I still have a 90-degree triangle. So I'm going to do Pythagorean, where my slant height squared equals my radius squared, which would be that bottom of the triangle, plus my altitude squared. And of course, this is the altitude. Alright, find the lateral area and the surface area of the right cone. Okay, so I know that basically because they just asked me about it, I'm going to have to try to find my my slant height for this, right? So I'm looking at a right triangle. I've got my side that's 12. I've got my side that's 5, and then I've got my L over here. So I'm going to take that out of my cone. Boom. Hello. Oh, that's okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Just right here, that's fine. I thought y'all were bringing me presents.
I don't know if he's in there as far as I know.
You have to sign or anything?
No, I'm gonna bring a couple of, like, these dictionaries to, like, English, or English, or English, Spanish.
Okay. Sounds good.
If you can make sure nobody can hold.
Right. We'll do.
Thank you.
All right, not a problem. All right. So we got this guy right here. And I know I'm going to have to solve for L. So L squared equals 12 squared plus 5 squared. And I'm going to square root both sides. So I get L equals 144 plus 25. And then the square root of what's 144 plus 25? 169. Does anybody remember what 169 squared is? 13. Very good.
13.
A little late to the party. All right. So my slant height is 13. So now I can go ahead and put that back on my on my cone right there. And I can write down from over here my lateral surface area, SL equals pi RL, where L is equal to 13 and my radius is 5. So SL equals 5 times 13 times pi, or 65 pi meters squared. So now I've got to find my total surface area. ST is pi. Yeah, I could leave that as an answer. If they ask me to round to the nearest hundredth, I'm going to have to plug that into my calculator, 65 times pi. And my total surface area is going to be my lateral surface area, that pi RL, plus my base, so that's pi r squared. Well, I already know what my lateral surface area is because I got it over here. So I'm just going to bring that over to this area, plus pi r squared, that's just 5 squared. And what is 5 squared? 25. ST equals 65 pi plus 25 pi. And since they're both pi, I can actually add them together. So I get 90 pi meters squared. All right, and then last but not least, it just asked me how many gallons of paint is needed to paint the exposed area of the cone if 1 gallon of paint covers 10 square meters. All right, so one big hint here is this word. Exposed area of the cone. So in this cone, what do you think the area that is not exposed is? The base. That's right. The base is resting on the ground. I don't want to paint the base. Why would I do that? I just want to paint the part that you can see. So, am I going to use my total surface area or my lateral surface area? Lateral is correct. And so, my surface area lateral, I already know this. 65 pi meters squared. Now for this, I actually have to enter this into my calculator. So I get 65, and then I'm going to say times, using the pi button, it's approximately 204.204. And then, what am I going to do if I have 1 gallon of paint covers 10 square meters? I don't want to multiply. Divide. That's right. I say, all right, well, I'm going to take all my square meters. I'm going to divide them by 10. And I see that I need 20.4 gallons of paint to paint all of this stuff. But they're going to look at me funny if I go into Home Depot and ask for 20.4 gallons of paint. So, everybody say it together. 21 gallons. All right, so we're going to buy 21 gallons of paint. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Oh, look at all that beautiful math there. Look at that beautiful math. Doesn't that just make your heart sing with joy?